Hopefully I got it tied into my, I want this on here. Dave, see if you can, Dave, can you see if you can find that on YouTube, if it's streaming or not? Click through on the OBS. Go to my channel. If you guys didn't buy any like S&Ps, since I just had you my VIX long, you should buy the Dow right here. Oh, it says option strategies. Whatever. I think if you guys are in YouTube land, you can chat in the chat box. I got it up. So I'm just explaining the curve here. So Santiago, you with me so far? I mean, I think you might know how to do this. It's probably a good review. Yeah, Dave, remind me. I'll fix that up. I don't know how to. Somewhere that setting is default to that option stuff. So kind of like the Dow here, we bought some 30s, and they might be firming up. Should be popping a little bit. Bought that pretty well. And then from here, on the next bounce, I'm going to come out of this equity long and then maybe short the NASDAQ too. Probably have too much S&Ps on here. I'm trying to see if there's any VIX to take off. I was bidding to cover my 14 calls, but VIX was there before the open. I was bidding 310. Market's up at 330 now. I don't know if oil's bouncing or not. If stocks keep cracking here, you should see bonds bounce. So what I was saying, so if we're looking at the yield curve flattening, it can happen two ways. Bonds, for the curve to flatten, twos could rally, maybe, or they get sticky. So like twos maybe go up 2 ticks, let's say. But the 10-year note, you would, so essentially, if again you're shorting the front end, you're buying the back end. So if it's a bull flattener, the market's actually going up directionally, but it just means that the twos are going to go up a lot less than what the long end's doing. So your twos, even though you're short twos, they're maybe not even up. Maybe they're only up like one tick. But your tens could be, the long end could be really, really going up a lot in a bull flattener. So maybe tens are up half a point, 15 ticks. So those tens that you're long, right, because you're long the tens, you're making 15 ticks there, and you're only losing one tick on your 2-year. So in that scenario, you're making money in the bull flattener. And then in the bear flattener, which is what we've had, well, we've actually been in it back in. We had it when Fed was raising rates and twos and the market and yields were rising. It was a bear flattener, but then it switched to a bull flattener since bonds have rallied in October, November. I'm gonna buy the Dow here, I think, in another account. I'm maxed out on my BP at the moment in this one. So then what happened when bonds have rallied? So you're short twos. Oh, sorry, I was explaining the bear flattener. In the bear flattener, your twos are going to be going down a lot. So like when the Fed's hiking, so maybe twos are going down 5 ticks and you're short more twos than you are long. Like when you put this on risk weighted, twos versus tens, I think is 4 times the amount. So you'll be short 4 times the amount of twos than you are long tens. But in a bear flattener, your fives, this part, the twos are going down a lot. So that when the Fed's hiking, right, twos were getting crushed. So even though your tens are going down too, and your long tens, the front end is just going down a lot more in a bear flattener. So you're short a bunch of these and making money on these, and you're losing less on your tens. The tens are maybe getting sticky. They're going down less relative to the front end in the bear flattener. Stocks are getting smoked, huh? Was that the high last night? This is a big level in the hourly. Big spot. Okay. Morning. Highest since June? The services side. What about, Dave? What about the, the manufacturing? Man, I want to buy this. Get out of here. And those Russell puts are already moving. I think we're gonna go through here. It's more positive than negative. Okay. One person on the live stream. Pretty heavy. I think technically everybody knows we failed where we should have, so it makes sense to back off. Definitely want to sell the next bounce, guys, for sure. I may sell some. Wow, VIX is like $3,000. I may sell some downside VIX calls just to free up some buying power a little bit. Maybe the April 14th. 15th. April 15th. Let's buy on the VIX futures. Just look at my VIX delta. Santiago, volume on which one? Are you looking at the VIX? Nice double bottom there. I think that's pretty high probability that might be the low. I might just take one of these a little bit too much long S&Ps versus my VIX going up. I'm just taking this off here. Why can't bonds bounce? Does this make any sense to you guys why the bond market's off so much? Is there any narrative that's supposed to make sense there? Yeah, I don't really see one either. Might come out of... feels like a bit of a turn, just with what the VIX is doing, and then usually by now the algos would be buying this dip. Let's see if they can succeed at, I guess this is Tuesday's low. You got pi here, 27.65. Topping tail will be even bigger now on the daily. Engulfed almost all of yesterday's move. See if we can take out yesterday's lows. And the VIX is really going to rip. It may bounce from here. Well, that's okay. If we bounce hard, I might sell out of this S&P and probably buy more VIX. Yeah, Keith will be excited, won't he? Let's see how we close today. We have a swing line set up if we take out the low from yesterday. I know I just said that, but I think that's what matters. We're going to have to maybe sit through this daily cycle in the gold market. What's Aussie yen doing? I'm seeing what short-dated calls I have on the VIX that I might need to come out of. One more pop. I got February 16s. Expire next week. Oh, we just had existing home sales. It's not really major. Got nat gas 10:30 and then oil at 11. I'm waiting for it to update. Well, the forecast was 5 million. It came in below that, 4.94. I don't know what the year-over-year looks like. Stocks are getting smoked. We'll see if they can balance equities. This would be the spot. 15-minute cycle is low also. Yeah, you pointed that out, Santiago, that the real estate was kind of one of the first ones to break yesterday. It was one of the best spots to be on the up. So I'm still watching these lows here. S&P. Maybe we get a higher low. And then I want to be a seller back up. Obviously, we've got a really bearish wall here, right? So halfway, I want to be a seller. Any type of bounce here today, I'm going to be shorting back up in here. You're below the 8 on that real estate ETF. So that's new. I haven't been able to break that 8s all year. Nasdaq's on the 8. below yesterday's low. Nasdaq looks really heavy. So we got to watch pi now. The Nasdaq, 7,000 figure. Dow's holding in a little bit better. S&P's, Nasdaq, and the Russell probably the weakest here. All right, a little bit of bottom and tail. See if they bounce them here. See if bonds bounce with it. You got the bands and the Russell here. This is all higher low location for sure. If you sold fives, you got to cover them. He sold those fives yesterday. Well, it's just down 15 points, down 1%. It's probably a little bit too crowded of a long up there. If we looked at the CFTC futures and options positioning, I'm sure that was pretty crowded. Let's kind of think about 1325 to get more core long. You'd think, I mean, this has been a little bit of a safe haven trade with, so I don't know. I think with stocks down, gold would be a little bit more firm. Dollar's not really doing much. FX could care less, really. Aussie yen's weaker. That's good. Let's see if we can make a new low there. I'll cover some more of our core short and this next support down here. I'm going to see if we can take this low out. was just looking at some puts on gold on some of the core long we have. I might just buy some protective at the money puts. Cool. Go with the VIX now. Nice buys this morning, huh? I'm just squaring up a couple things in some of these accounts. Did you, Santiago, how are you playing this gold move? Did you buy puts? Okay, cool. Cool. Wish FX would get going doing something. Dave, are you looking at an aggregate for that, or is it just like noticing per pair? Yeah, it's been so choppy. It was a bounce. This 15-minute cycle. You mean Euro Aussie today had a big move? Wow. Euro up, Aussie down. It's up full 1%. Probably supposed to fade it here. It's not a bad hedge for us because we're kind of long the euro already. You know? I'll sell a little Euro Aussie here. Thanks for pointing that out, Dave. I could sell some more if we trade up into the high from last week. Euro versus dollar right back down. It's really sideways near term. Still no bounce on bonds. Nasdaq getting smoked. Still core short. Staying core short. Had some nice sales around this turn. I'm not covering any yet. We nailed this low, didn't we, on the VIX? We're all over it down there. I mean, we haven't had that much of a move yet. If we break these hourly higher lows, its VIX is going to be at 16 quick. Copper come off? Nah, a little bit. Let's look at some of these individual stocks. Google, back at the bands, on the daily. What did you, Santiago, you had Amazon as the worst looking yesterday. Treading water sideways. Netflix down %. It's back on its 8. I don't know, Facebook's kind of leading the way, filling that gap. Apple sideways. Just gotta take out some of these higher lows on the intermediate term. What's Tilray been doing? Tesla's trying to flirt with 300. Sideways. Pretty good buys on Chronos. Alright, I'm going to close up the YouTube. I just wanted to start live streaming around the open. For anybody that cares, once in a while here, get some more involvement. It's kind of we're just waiting on these higher lows to, sitting on the fence post here. Either break pie, we're going to get below the 7,000 on the NASDAQ. And then it's going to get exciting as far as volatility. And any type of bouncer, I'm going to sell into. Alright, you guys in YouTube land, maybe we'll see some of you in the chat.